This brief video is a short overview of the Kerygma Bible Retreat. And it's important to keep in mind that this is a retreat and not a Bible study. What is a retreat? It's time apart with God to deepen our relationship with Him. Now, this particular Kerygma Bible Retreat is in fact the initiative of an American woman who's the diocesan director of evangelization in her diocese in the United States. And after many years of seeing people in her diocese learn more about their faith through Bible classes and other programs, she realized that most still did not know the gospel. They had not encountered Jesus or experienced the salvation He won for us. So she asked me to put together a proclamation of the gospel, which is this Kerygma Bible Retreat. I used the Bible and church teaching, mostly the Catechism, to proclaim the gospel, not just explain it. And it has 4 parts. God created everything good, the original sin and its effects, Jesus, Pentecost and beyond, which is the application of the salvation Jesus won for us. But when I presented this to the director of evangelization, she said, but people need to respond to the gospel. So she inserted opportunities for that response within the retreat. Now, there are lots of Bible verses in this retreat, and the participants are asked to look these up. Why? Because we need to let God speak directly and personally to us through His Word. In this retreat, we want to listen to Him, not to someone speaking about Him. Now, the word kerygma, a lot of people don't seem to be familiar with it. It's from the Greek. It means to cry out or to proclaim, but in a Christian context, it's equivalent to the gospel. And Jesus' final command to His disciples before He ascended to heaven after His death and resurrection was, go out to the whole world and proclaim the gospel. Why was this of such primary importance to Jesus? Pope John Paul II gave us an answer. He said, because it is a conversion-bringing proclamation. We have to remember this is not just a human idea. It is a divine message. So let's see what else Pope John Paul II said about the kerygma. This is from his treatise, Catechesis in Our Time. The kerygma is living, spontaneous, and vibrant. Truths that touch a person's heart. And of course, you know, in biblical context, the heart is our innermost being where we choose for or against God. The Pope continues, the gospel kerygma is the initial, ardent proclamation by which a person is one day overwhelmed and brought to the decision to entrust himself to Jesus Christ by faith. Now, in that last quotation, Pope John Paul used the word ardent. The kerygma is an ardent proclamation. Why? Because the person proclaiming the gospel has himself or herself encountered Jesus, and the joy which fills his heart impels him to proclaim this to others. In fact, Pope Paul VI said, this is the proof, the test of the genuineness of his own conversion. So keep that in mind when you're asking someone to lead your Kerygma Bible Retreat. The person who leads it must have already responded to the gospel and encountered Jesus. Now, some practicalities of the retreat. It consists of 6 sessions, and it can be done over a weekend or a 6-week period, meeting once a week. Who is this for? For parishes. It would be excellent for a parish mission. For families or home groups, you can do this at home. It would also be very appropriate as part of confirmation preparation, not only for the candidates, but for their parents and sponsors as well. Or as a retreat for teachers in Catholic schools, even if some of the teachers are not Catholic. For catechists, In fact, wherever evangelization or re-evangelization is needed. So I'd just like to close with a few words of Pope Francis. You know, he recently wrote an apostolic exhortation called Evangelii Gaudium, which in Latin for the joy of the gospel. I just want to read his opening words to close this session. The joy of the gospel fills the hearts and lives of all who encounter Jesus. Those who accept this offer of salvation are set free from sin, sorrow, inner emptiness, and loneliness. And that good news is offered to every human being.